Hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite, Rit Ralph, talking to you straight from our show here, Apple Bites, where we take a bite out of the apple and share it with you. All right, folks, we're coming straight out of Urban Action Showcase this weekend, and we were having a blast over there. It was intense. It was incredible. It was very kung fu and very actiony.
As it should be, otherwise that would be false advertising.
Exactly. and I'm still exhausted from Saturday, so there was a lot of interviews that needed to be done, and I think we were able to get through it. Hopefully, I had no glitches on the camera. I guess we'll see when I finally get a chance to check to do all that stuff.
Okay.
That's that moment you're like, oh, come on, I hope everything worked right.
And then it's like, your memory card is empty, and you're like, oh no. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Fingers crossed.
It's happened to us before, so.
Oh no.
I was just going to ask you.
Oh, cool! We recorded all that stuff, and then you go to the camera and it goes, what stuff?
Or it's like your memory card has been full for like the past 3 cons.
Or it goes, your memory card has been corrupted.
Oh, that one hurts. That one hurts more to me because, like, if it's full, that's like a mistake that you can learn from. But corrupted, how can you learn?
No, just some either divine or evil force just didn't like you that day.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the one that hurts the most because that's the one that happened to us. The card got corrupted. We lost everything, and you sit there going, because you sit there, you did all that work for nothing.
And then it's like, there are people waiting for you to put out the interviews, and then you feel like you let everybody down.
Yeah.
Oh no.
The only good thing now is that we have the live show. So unlike before, where I was like, okay, well, next time we'll see you at a con. Now I go, why don't you just come on the show? We'll talk about the stuff.
Excellent.
So now you guys know how I got on the show.
Exactly.
Oh, it's happened to us before. I can't even say that. Yeah, and recently too.
Oh dear.
Yeah, because the cell phones are just as bad. You think something happened, you think something went through, and next thing you know, what video?
Yeah, my cell phone is just full of cat photos. There's no room for anything else.
My phone is full of all those cons we've been to in the past 9 years.
How do you even have space?
I don't know. I've bought something recently where I've been pulling stuff out to make life easier. A little thing to go straight into the phone, and I can just pull it all out. But then the phone goes, well, you have a ton of stuff in here, so it's going to take you hours and hours and hours to get all this stuff out of here.
Oof.
Exactly. Also, Kevin, why don't you start us off? Tell the people out there who you are, what you do. Give them the spiel.
He's coming to Jesus in a nutshell.
The full-on spiel. My name is Kevin Joseph. I write a comic book called Tart. She is a time-traveling demon hunter. She wakes up at the beginning of each issue without any idea where in the world or when in time she is, but she knows that there's a demon causing trouble, and it's up to her to stop it. So it's sort of like a supernatural quantum leap where she goes around and rights history's wrongs. And if she does so, then we keep going perfectly well. And if she doesn't, then we have cataclysmic events that we look back in history and wonder how that happened. So that is the book that I have. And I'm here to talk about a crossover with a comic series called Miskatonic High, which is a Lovecraftian horror mixed with high school teenage comedy. And the writer, Mike Shea, said, hey, I'd like to go to sleep tonight. And I said, okay, I'll do the podcast for us. So I don't want to forget them when we're doing this spiel because they're super important to this crossover. But basically, I'm doing it a little bit out of love for Miskatonic High and a little bit out of spite because I used to be super proud that we had done up to 16 issues on Kickstarter, and they laughed at me like Captain America in the second movie on my left. They've got 24 issues out of nowhere. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to work with this guy and learn how he can make comics so friggin' quickly. So
I feel like such a rookie with 7 issues.
I was going to say, is it quickly or is it sacrificing everything?
What about me with just one? Oh my goodness!
It's the launching pad though. We don't know how fast you're going to go because you've got the one. Right. You could be at 24 in 2 years. We don't know.
Yes,
this is true.
Gotcha.
Matta talks there, but she goes 7 issues, but is her doing everything by herself.
Right.
I have 3 issues of another comic, so I guess I'm not a slacker. Oh, and also working on John's comic, so I guess I'm doing pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so don't let her fool you, folks. That lady's working her butt off.
I really am. It's exhausting.
I gotta say, this is an interesting. We were talking about it in the green room. Your styles are like really mix well. It's almost like you guys are in the same universe already.
Yeah, we kind of, when you're doing Kickstarter, you kind of see who's out there. I don't really. I subscribe to we're not competitors. We're all trying to fertilize the same ground and
Same here.
grow the fruits up for everybody. So kind of, I heard of this Miskatonic High thing, and I probably let like 2 or 3 of the campaigns go by, and then I saw, oh, they keep coming back. Let's check this out. And when I read it, I was like, okay, I'm not usually into Lovecraft. That's not something that really speaks to me personally. I know it speaks to a lot of people.
It does.
But what spoke to me was the realistic teenagers. I don't know. Can we curse on the show?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. His teenagers are super shitty and real, and I love it. I love that they're,
I think you just sold me on Miskatonic High because I've let so much of it go by where I'm just like, Lovecraft, teenagers, I don't know. But no, I'm here for shitty teens.
They're, like
Being
one
a formerly
character
shitty
is,
teen.
one character only cares about her Instagram followers. One character is just like the student, the senior president, but he's the kind of guy who will cheat in the ballot box to become senior president. And these are the 6 kids that have to kind of save their town. And I kind of love when people do, like crappy characters. I mean, Sacrimony has some, your characters
Everyone
aren't all
sucks in
good.
Sacrimony.
I'm still angry after reading the books.
Good. Appropriate reaction.
You sit there going, why? Why are you doing
That's my goal. That's always my goal. Where you read one of my books and you're just like, what the hell? Why? So yeah, you've sold me on Miskatonic High. Go on.
And when you read it, you're like, oh, they're doing 60% of what we're doing, and the other 40% is cool. And we just kind of talked. We met each other. We felt like we were both doing it, the way that we both respected, fulfilling our promises, trying to make something creative. And for a while, we've been just saying, maybe we can do something in the future. And then Mike reached out to me. This is really Mike's baby, and I want to make sure I don't take too much credit for it. He's like, hey, what if we did like 9 trading cards and told a story on the back? And I basically went, I don't have any clue what you're talking about, how to do this. I'm in, because I wanted to do something crazy, and he knew how we were going to do it. And of course, we worked for about 3 weeks, and we realized 9 cards wasn't going to tell a story. So it's like 24 cards. The front is an image, back is a paragraph telling you what happened, and hopefully if we've done our job, it's a nice entry point to both series, because we're introducing his 6 main characters, my main character Tart, and 5 of her compatriots in the Toxic Fruit. So she's not the only time traveling demon hunter. She's just the one that we follow the most often in our stories. So we got to bring the other characters in and let them play around. And they meet in an anime convention. So we got to play with cosplay. We got to play with, I think that those puzzle boxes that cost $60 and give you dirty underwear are the worst thing that have ever happened to conventions. So we have a complete fuck you card to the mystery box sellers.
Wow.
So I'm hoping that card is the most popular, because I've seen somebody open one of those $60 boxes, and this was a point where I had an old iPhone 6 and there was an iPhone 3 case in it.
Wow.
Yeah. For $60, she bought technology that was like 4 years old.
Oh,
Not even technology, the case for technology.
That's true. That's true. Tech's a bad word, but yeah.
Yeah, like an accessory for technology. My God. That is a huge slap in the face.
So we were definitely, we're taking the prize boxes down. So this is our moment to stand up and yell about something. But other than that, it's a feel good, fun story. But hopefully other people read it and go, yeah, F those prize boxes.
I think all of it is just fantastic. It's something different, something weird.
It was a challenge. It was a real challenge to write. I'll be very frank, but that was certainly the fun of it. Because it's not sequential storytelling. It's not the thing that we're used to, but it's close enough that we feel like our readers are going to enjoy it. And, you know, Tart gets to have a moment with Sarah from Miskatonic High. So my readers are going to meet my favorite character in Miskatonic High and find out what makes her tick. And Mike's readers are going to meet, you know, our character Plasma Pear, who is his favorite character. And he got to give her a moment to shine on her card. So it's sort of like we got to play in each other's sandbox a little bit too.
Always a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
Always a great thing. You know, I always tell people, especially on the show, you know, if you want to learn how to write, one of the best things to do is play in somebody else's sandbox.
Mm-hmm. Fan fiction or just writing a short story. Yeah.
Dude, these cards look fantastic.
we actually reached out to our two co-creators. My Tart is co-created by an artist named Ludovic Saleh, and Miskatonic's co-created by an artist named Ryan Mendoza. And we asked each of them if they had time to do like half of the cards, and they both said, if you want us to draw your comic, we do not. And we said, okay, cool. Cool. We'll find somebody else. And we reached out, and we had an artist at the beginning who was doing a very good job, and he just kind of, and I appreciate this to no end. He reached out and said, I think this is too big of a job for me. You're going to have to find somebody else. And I was like, did you really tell us that and not just disappear? You're the greatest person who's ever been born. You're a hero, amazing. You know?
That is mad respect for that.
That's good. Yeah.
I do too. And so we went back in, we found another artist who also had an anime style, and his name is Binalki on your social medias. And he has just done a fabulous job. This is going to be his first story he's ever done professionally, but it's not going to be his first comic work because I got him to do a variant cover for Tart 16. So
I liked him that much. That says something right there.
I liked him that much. I liked his art that much, and I think that he's going to have. I think he's going to do covers, and I get to say we were first.
I would have never known that this was like his first storytelling sort of thing. I would have never guessed in like a million years. Like if you saw my first attempt at storytelling, you would know. You'd be like, oof, that is rough. But no, this is like very slick.
And yeah, there was a whole lot of, hey, should I do it like this? And you know, most of the times he was right on it. And there were a couple times where we're like, well, you know, we think we need to do something a little bit differently. If you'll see as you get to this point, if you're watching on YouTube, there's connecting cover comics where on the left side, you actually see the Miskatonic High characters. That cover is drawn by Ludovic. And on the right side, you're going to see the Toxic Fruit characters, and that's drawn by Ryan. So we got artist got to draw.
I got to interrupt right away. That looked like it was the same artist doing both covers.
They are both extraordinarily talented people, and Ryan kind of put the characters together, but Ludo drew from his blueprint. So and we got to let it playing in each other's sandbox. Ludo draws Miskatonic High characters, Ryan draws Tart characters, and one thing that allowed us to do is Binalki never had to do an establishing shot on a trading card, because we have this to show everybody what the anime convention looks like.
Yeah.
So the audience can now build the convention for themselves just with that image existing.
That's a pretty good cheat, because you know now you don't have to waste a card just to show off the convention.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything, if filming has taught me anything, is cheat as much as you can.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, this looks fantastic. Like I said, you can't tell it's two different artists.
Yeah, those are really fun. And one thing about those comics, if somebody knows Tart and wants to learn about Miskatonic High, you go through and you grab the cover that has the Miskatonic High characters on it. So you're going to have the whole story of the cards is printed, 4 cards per page, and then a little bit of behind the scenes. And then at the back, we'll have Miskatonic High #1 reprinted. So someone can actually read Miskatonic High and find out if they like it. And vice versa, the comic with the Tart characters has Tart #1, so that Mike's readers can try Tart. So we want to find new readers, but we want to do it in a way that's exciting and fun for our existing readers.
That's a good way. It's a good way to balance everything out. I really like what you guys have done. It's a very creative idea.
I wish I could say it was all mine, and I do have to reiterate, this is Mike Shea's. He is the driver. He is the navigator. Every once in a while, he'd go to sleep, and I drive for like 3 hours. But mostly, this is Mike's brainchild. But I was really happy to be part of the drive.
I'm so curious how he thought of trading cards.
Yeah,
I guess when he was young, he collected. I think they were Alan Moore's Tom Strong, I think, did some.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
And he also collected Mars Attacks that did it like this. And he was just like, do you remember these? And I was like, nope, no clue what you're talking about. And the first month we were writing it, I kept having to have him reteach me how we were going to tell this story this way. Because, like sequentials, you're going panel to panel, and you kind of have to throw that out. It's kind of like if you're a film guy and someone said, we're going to do this as a silent movie. Okay, you've got to throw out some of the things that you've learned and go back to the basics of you're just showing something, and then you're going to show a title card. And that was the mindset that I had to eventually get into. But I did have Mike holding my hand for quite a while.
And these are the respective books here, right?
Yeah. So what we wanted to do is make it super easy for his readers to catch up with Tart. So I've got the first 3 hardcovers of my book at like 40% off, so that they can just get in and be part of the group. And he's got 4 soft covers, and I don't know what his is, but he put a discount on his soft covers too. So for my book, there's 12 issues of the comic right there for, I think, $75 instead of their usually. Woo! That's pretty, Matta.
Who did this?
So instead of 110,
hold on.
yeah.
Oh my God, look at that.
Yeah.
That is pretty.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love the color.
Glad I had that handy.
I love it. Oh,
Love the color. Wow.
It's
That's
a bargain
some
at twice the price.
that is some cover. I gotta say though, that's amazing that you source the 3 books, $75.
Yeah. And there are probably like 20 issues or 16 to 20 issues in a soft cover. Those are just the add-ons. We hope people take advantage of this. If they don't, the PDF, like,
But see,
if you
I
just
like
want
what
to,
you're doing, especially because, I feel like Kickstarters have become something else instead of a place where you do something special. Before it was like Kickstarters was like it's something special. You get something special. You get something unique. This is what you're gonna get. And then when the run happens, something else happens. So the Kickstarter exclusive. Now you don't hear that. It's like it's the same book you got at Kickstarter, it's the same book you get outside.
Oh, and the even worse when the book is on Amazon before Kickstarter backers get it, and it's cheaper than Kickstarter.
Wow, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. This one this one's pretty exclusive in that if you don't jump on this and you back either of our campaigns, we're going to throw some of these cards randomly in the future. So
cool.
You could get all these cards if you back, like 24 Miskatonic High campaigns in the next 10 years, and you luckily get the right card every time. You can have the whole set, or you can back right now for $15 and get the set of cards. I recommend getting the cards now, but if you want to be,
some people like to gamble, right?
Yeah, if you want to be Indiana Jones on it, I'm like, go for it. So, and the same thing with like the PDF. There's a $5 PDF in here. If you want to just read the story, read Tart #1, read Miskatonic High #1, find out if you love us. Great. $5 PDF. We love you. Come on. After the campaign's over, the PDF is not going to be available for 2 years. So the only way to read this story after the campaign is to luck into the cards.
I know that guy.
Who's that?
Yeah. that was a little younger, a little thinner, a little prettier, but hey, what can you do? I don't go to the signings as much. I don't have a new photo. So yes, I'm using a 10-year-old photo because this is my OnlyFans. So I'm gonna make myself look as pretty as this old man can look.
I feel you, brother. I feel you. So this is the whole crew.
Yeah, this is everybody who either did a cover or, Ryan is the artist on Miskatonic High. This Cassie is the editor on Tart, and she really helped us put this together. Claire is the editor on Miskatonic High. She worked with Mike on a lot of his parts of the story. So
nice.
And that's my sexy lead character. So
I love this piece of art. It just like pops. Yeah.
So if you want a little bit of if you like a little bit of sexy, you get a little bit of sexy in Tart, and like they're high school kids, so I'm not going to say that about Miskatonic High, but they're cute.
Which is funny because other people would just jump on top of that and say it automatically.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, did you see that? Wait, what? We were talking about what?
High school kids? What? Like, come on, seriously.
The only time I feel like that's fine is characters that I grew up with, because I've been saying it since I was younger. So you're like, oh, okay, now you look at a character, you're like, I don't know, I don't think I should say anything about.
Like, no, they're old enough to be my kid. This is
right. That's right, Maddie.
I had a huge crush on Samantha from Who's the Boss. I still have a crush on the same woman. So I think that's fair game, but other than that, I think it's probably not appropriate.
I will show off the video because it looks pretty fun. Hold on, let me get it up here again.
Oh yeah, because I never watch Kickstarter videos, so I have no idea what they did. So I'm also curious.
It's funny. I gotta say the same thing. I only watch the Kickstarter videos on the show, or if you guys are gonna be on the show, because usually I'm like, okay, that's a good Kickstarter. I'll come back to it later.
I haven't watched it in 2 months. I don't remember.
Oh, this will be fun.
Let's go to the videotape.
Excellent.
Like I said, lots of fun.
Excellent.
I see you guys even got a Cat Columnia quote.
You gotta pull some strings if you know somebody like Cat. You gotta hey, you got 20 minutes to read a story, Cat. Come on, Cat's a cat. Give me a little, just a little bit. Nah, she's fabulous. So I appreciated it. Yeah.
So Kev, I got a question. When you have two IPs that come together like that, are there any do's and don'ts? You guys talk about, okay, listen, guys, don't mess with this, or is there any rules?
Yeah, absolutely. The rule is respect the other person's boundaries, and it's sort of like I don't think either one of us got even close in this, but there was a whole lot of, hey, I really like this character and I like this character because of blank. Can we explore it this way? And there were a couple times where I would be like, okay, I hear what you're saying. She wouldn't speak like that. She wouldn't make that decision, but she might react to what you're saying this way. And we just kind of, he had full autonomy to tell me, you're not writing in the way that my characters would speak. And then he would take my idea and fashion it the way his characters would speak, and vice versa. But a lot of it is being like, hey, this is what I like about your thing, and this is what I think my readers would like about your thing. Let's highlight that. How can we best do it? And there are some things where, you know, my characters are not drawn to a place unless there is a demon there causing trouble that would possibly change history. His story is, they basically, like the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I'll use their verbiage, they basically live on a hellmouth and all of the Lovecraftian things attack them.
Right.
So it made sense for us to go where his people were, but have a demon that wasn't Lovecraftian be the actual problem. So we just had to craft it. What would make sense for these 6 characters to show up, have something to do, so that the Miskatonic High readers don't feel like we just made Tart look great and they were in the background,
right,
and vice versa. So it was really, but I can say in my mind, it was a real respectful process of,
that's great.
I think your character could do this, and he would say, I think your character should do this. It was more, I think we wanted to play with each other's toys more so than we wanted to make our own look good. And I think that's the best way.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people collaborate like that, sometimes they butt heads, you know. Like I was watching this thing about We Are the World, you know, and you know, it was calculated who was the first one to sing, who's the second, right? And who has the chorus, you know. So I know certainly when you have something that means a lot to you, something that's personal, I can imagine 2 people coming in together. It's like your children, right? So how are you gonna let my child shine? Okay, hopefully yours doesn't outshine mine. I don't know how competitive it can get, but certainly you can see where it can get bad with some people's collaborations. But
I would say with this one, and I'm also working on a crossover that's more of a one-shot comic book with Will Allred, who does a comic called Crossover Division. And in both cases, the whole story was written before we even looked for an artist.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Because it's just time. It's not money. So if we got 18 pages into that or 9 cards into this and we were butting heads, we could just walk away. Yeah. There was no money spent. There was no, you know,
it was
we hadn't told anybody we were doing it. So there'd be no embarrassment that we didn't deliver. So that was the thing, is 2 writers working together, realizing it worked, and then going out and doing the things where we're paying artists and telling people that we're working on something. Sure. So I would test the water before I went for a swim with somebody when it comes to 2 IPs.
That's very smart, because people will just jump into it and be like, all right, I have like 1 page, let me go find an artist and hire them. And then, 3 pages in, it's like,
yeah. And we really and truthfully felt like if we do this right, it's going to be really good for both series. So there was a whole lot of, let's do this right. Let's not do this. Tart didn't have to be the one. Tart saves the day in almost every issue I write. She doesn't have to save the day in this. Maybe she does, but she doesn't have to.
Well, thankfully for us, it worked out, because as the audience, it sounds great, man.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. So we're the ones that benefit.
Yeah.
We need the benefits. Yeah.
You can see the audience going, I'm definitely interested. Yes. Or fire.
Yes.
But I love that. I love when people are able to work together in that way. You know, it's one of my favorite things to do, is to get together with other people and actually start crafting things together, where it's a joint effort to make the story, and there's no one person trying to grab all the glory.
Mm-hmm. And Mike said, we were talking to someone else just recently, and Mike said, and there was nobody to tell us no. No one got to tell us we couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's very powerful.
Yeah. So let's do it. And as soon as we felt like we had a story that was worth telling, for both of us, this story is canon. This story did happen. Is it going to be talked about in Tart? I doubt it. But it did happen. The characters did meet. It did happen.
that's the way to do this stuff is to make it impactful yet not impactful. You know, it happened, and it's not like, oh, it was a side story somewhere, like
or even worse, where it's like, oh, it's referenced in the comic. It's like, collect the cards to find out, and then someone's like spending the next 10 years trying to collect the cards to fill in like whatever blanks were left.
Yeah, but like that is also their problem if they didn't support this Kickstarter. We told them, so I can't be that sorry either.
Fair warning. That's right, Kev.
I'm doing podcast. I mean, this is fun, but I'm doing podcasts to let people know you got to do it.
I got to get in there, and I love the fact that it's a Kickstarter that actually has gravitas, because like, oh, if you missed a Kickstarter, who knows when you'll see this again.
I mean, I'd check eBay. Somebody who gets doubles is going to put one up. Check eBay. You can get card 12,
for like $500.
Exactly.
Hey, if Matta gets 2 card number 8s and she puts it up and she gets $200 for it, I'll be very happy for her.
I'll be happy for her too.
Exactly. It's funny that you say that, because one of the things that we've talked about on the show is the funny thing that happens with indie comics, where you come out, you do your run, and all of a sudden you're on eBay and it's like $1,000. You're like, what? I should have kept 1 or 2 of those issues.
Yeah, or it's like I hate seeing when someone does a sketch cover for like $50 and then on eBay it's like $1,000, and like the artist doesn't see a penny of that. Like it's so hurtful.
I've seen a lot of that, a whole lot of that, especially at the conventions. You see like people come out, can you do a cover for me? And then they only pay like $100 for it, and then they're on eBay going, look at this exclusive $1,000.
I just had a backer say they found these trading cards that I did a while back. And he said, I found these on eBay. Are these real? And I was like, absolutely, they're real. But I have some, so don't worry about buying it. I'll send you some with your Tart 16, because he got a commission. So we're waiting on that art to come from Ludo in France, and I'll send it over. I said, I'll just send you one. And I looked at it. The card is for sale for $38 on eBay. And I gave them free on Free Comic Book Day a couple years back. And I was like, you know what? God bless you. If you got $38 for it, great, good for you. But no, Peter, do not give that person $38. I'll send you one free. You can spend $15 on a Tart comic, and we'll both be extraordinarily happy.
That works.
You gotta love it.
Yeah.
Undercut, man. Undercut.
Yeah.
I was just giving the card.
It's a power move right there. That's what that is.
Oh, it's a complete power move, because you're like, I got a bunch of them.
The jerk move, though, would for me to put it on eBay for $1, which I'm not doing. I'm letting them
do their thing.
Keep it up. That's their thing. But if someone reaches out to me,
I would put mine up for like $36. That's because I'm an asshole.
Oh yeah. It'd be like, oh, you want to buy it from them? I got $1 cheaper.
Yeah. Also, more power to you, man. Everybody's got to make their money one way or the other. I don't get mad about it. It's just like.
I've had this discussion before, and then I usually tell people this thing. When I was younger, my friends would all go, "Hey, Ralph, can you do me a favor and go look for this book for me?" Because when I was in all the comic stores, I was rummaging through all of them, and I got really good at finding things, And there's a price for finding. If I found it, you got to pay me a little bit for all the work I did.
Finder's fee, dude. Finder's fee.
That's it.
That was when I had the most fun with, was just diving into comic stores, just finding things for people. And then people would challenge me. It's like, oh, I need this. I'm like, okay, it's over there in this comic store on this street.
Did you have
a lot of comic stores?
Yeah. Did you have an encyclopedic memory of where things were?
If I ran into something, it would stay in my head. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, I saw that. It was in this store. And then I'll go back to make sure it's still there,
Get the price, whatever.
Exactly.
Okay. Neat. I'd have forgot. Like, I even forget the things that I want. Like, where did I see that?
Maybe 10 years ago I'd remember, but now
it's the same thing when I'm doing research, on Google or wherever I am, and oh yeah, I ran into that. So then it becomes easier to go back and find it. You know, tell me to remember something off the top of my head, it ain't gonna happen. But I'll remember that I saw it, and I can go look for it. And that makes life so much easier. And you know what bugs me out the most is, you know, you got all these younger kids who are growing up with the computers and growing up, and then, you know, they're like, oh, I can't find this, and I'll go, doot, doot, doot. I'll plug a couple of things in, and it goes right there. It's like, I looked on Google. No, you didn't look on Google. You put one word in, and you said, I can't find it.
I feel like Google should be something taught to, like, I don't know, like 5th graders or something. Because, like, being able to properly Google search is a skill set in itself.
It
Like,
is.
I had to be taught that in school. Otherwise, I would never know, like, what all the little, like, oh, minus this, parentheses that, like, quotation marks and stuff. Like, it's a whole thing.
I don't
That's
know.
a
As
great
a
point,
writer,
because
I've
it's
been
a valuable
researching my
tool,
life.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Google?
How do you work the Google?
It's googly, man. It's googly.
It's Google. It's French, okay?
Googly. Not related to Michael Bublé, but you know.
I see what you did there. I was waiting for that, actually.
Yeah, it popped into my head. I was like, Google Bublé. Oh my God. Eddie, why don't you tell the people all the good stuff about what you're doing, because you got a pretty good thing going on here.
Oh, thanks, Ralph. Appreciate it. But first and foremost, I watched your show for such a long time with Maddie on it. And I've been on for the show for a while, a couple of times. I said, but where's Maddie? Where's Maddie? I'm kind of thinking, is it me? You know, is it?
Oh, no.
I don't know. But here she is. So Maddie, it's a pleasure to meet you, really.
Oh,
I appreciate you on the show with Ralph. And Ralph, I appreciate you too. You know that. So don't get jealous on me, okay?
It wasn't you. I was dead, but then I got better.
There you go. You came back from
she
death.
knows how to live her character.
They say write what you know, right?
Right. There you go. But yes, finally get to meet you. Nice to meet you, Maddie.
Very nice to meet you.
I've actually been looking forward to you two meeting. So
yes, finally. We're going to put our wonder powers together and we're going to do this.
Yes, activate.
Yes. So yes, my name's Eddie Lima. I am the creator of End of Zed. It's a story about a robot who crash lands in the South Bronx in 1982. He has no memory. He's badly damaged, and he has to navigate through probably one of the most, turbulent time in the city's history. I say that because not only, the crack epidemic began during that time in 82, which was super negative, but he also had the positive aspects of the hip hop generation coming in. Hip hop, which ushered in new music, new fashion, as well as new art. So he finds himself in this environment and, badly damaged, no memory. And as he goes through this environment, he will not only find his origin, but ultimately find out that he has a purpose here. We had a blast writing it. There's going to be 4 episodes. This is the very first one. And yes, this is a great way to get into the story. And Ralph, I got some good news. I got my first sample of the comic and I got it in my hand, right? Because I wanted to make sure.
Oh my God.
Oh, goodness.
Are you ready?
I gotta see this.
So give me that 2001 music. Da, 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 da.
Oh my God, that looks amazing.
Yep,
that is
turn
slick.
the first page. Thank you. Yep.
That looks even better than I thought it would.
Okay, there you go. Oops, sorry.
There you go.
So now I can show you the first couple of pages because I actually have this on my website for free. The first 5 pages that you can download. But the colors came out amazing. And as you know, Ralph, I spent so much time really thinking about the colors and making sure that everything came out okay, And just for us, just because Maddie's here, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of page 6 and 7. Here it goes. Yes. I won't show it to you for long. So he encounters his first. So what happens is he looks over here and the bright light shines through the fence and he goes, wait a minute. And right here he says to himself, what is, oh, I know why I'm here. This is a fellow robot here that I need to save because if it looks at the helmet. But when he pans back, it's actually a DJ and his computer tells him what a DJ is. And he's actually in the block party. So it really is a good start to where he is in his environment. Like I said before, he's badly damaged. And all these things that he picks up from this environment actually heals him. So music heals his ears. Graffiti will, eventually help him with his vision. And then other things that he meets along the way, these positive forces is what heals him. So yeah, I had a blast. There's my team. Main artist is Lucas Assis. I am an artist, but I'm not a sequential artist. So I certainly needed his talents. The colorist is G. Sabino. and letterer Matisse Zanetti, who's amazing, and then editor Brian Zanzanago, and then media is Matt Seeger, or I like calling him Matt Sugar, because he's so sweet.
He's so sweet. Oh.
There you go. There you go, Matty. There you go. There you go. And if he's listening, he's gonna kill me for that because he's like, oh, don't say that.
Say, this is my favorite cover, but I do love the graffiti on this one.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a variant cover. That's by an artist called Harrow, as we'll call him, and he's on the West Coast now, but he actually grew up in the East Coast. And I'm a graffiti artist, and I did the tag for End of Zed, so we kind of collaborated our powers there to come up with the cool variant graffiti cover. This is my first ever Kickstarter, so I did it kind of as simplistic as I could. That was what everyone told me. Eddie, really take it easy. Don't offer too much, and which is great. I think it's the best advice I ever had, because really there's so much going on. Just creating the comic, but then of course marketing it, and then on Kickstarter. Oh my gosh, boy, Kev, I needed you a couple months ago because I was about to pull my hair out. That's why I'm wearing a hat now, because you don't see all the hair that came out of it so far.
We'll get the time travel machine going on, and I'll talk to you 3 months ago. But honestly, looking at this page, it doesn't look like you needed me at all. It's a gorgeous page. Can I ask, did you design the robot yourself, or did you just work with the artist? It's
no.
Cool...
Actually, I appreciate it. Thanks, Kev. Yeah, no, he is. He was a story that I've had in my head for the longest time. So about 2 years ago, I actually wrote a movie script of this story, and then it worked out so well that I said, this would really lend well to a comic book, and then I had to get an editor to do that. The character I actually had on one of my previous graffiti sites, and he always looked like this. And the reason why he needed to look kind of older, if you notice, he's got the little antenna in his head, because you're going to find that he has origins on this planet from a long time ago. So, so the design for the character was super, super important to me. He had to have a big head, smaller body, kind of toddler-like, because I knew in the story he's going to be lost, and I want the audience to empathize with him. And
he's adorable.
Yeah, he is cute. He is cute. And but I also needed that. So everything you see there it took me about 4 months for the character design. And thank goodness that my artist was willing to work with me to actually enhance even more. Talking about collaboration, Kev, like I spoke to you before, when something's so personal to you, we both combined to give it the look of what he had there. This is my ultimate tier, which I found out someone's going to do this. So let's see. They got to put their money where their mouth is. So we'll see. It better come within the next couple of weeks. But this is my biggest package, which is $250. And what it is for $250, you're going to get your name immortalized in a comic. I'm going to create a tag just like I did End of Zed. It could be your name. It could be a company name. And there's a lot of good real estate. There's only about 4 spots in the comic that has good real estate for that. So I'm going to actually illustrate it and immortalize you in the comic. You'll be part of End of Zed forever. And then you'll also get the rest of this too. So I'm really excited this person comes through. I really think they are. I think they told me I had to put the squeeze on a couple of people that owe them. Once they do that, it'll be part of the campaign.
If he needs a couple of warriors to go help him put the squeeze.
There you go. The warriors. Ralph says the warriors because that's what my story is. My story is Wild Robot meets the Warriors. If you ever heard of that movie or seen the Warriors from the set, that's what this is, because he's running through time, and hence the way the cover is. He's running, and he's got to get to a certain place, somewhat like the Warriors.
Robot, come out to play.
Another reason I should have told you a couple months ago. See, really, that's
awesome. Another limited thing. So it's something that's not going to happen unless you actually support the Kickstarter. So and I also like the fact that you're giving them all the other stuff, because I've seen some of these tiers where they don't give the book out, and I'm like, dude, they're paying like $250 to commission something. Why aren't you giving them the book? That should be like the freebie part of that.
Correct. You're right. Yeah, that's a good.
They should buy it. I'm like, no, they're paying $250.
Yeah, right. When someone picks a commission tier with me, it's like, okay, you get a commission. Oh yeah, also, and I just throw in the book and just mail it to you.
Exactly.
Like free shipping and everything. Like, Jared, just take it.
I also love that this book has so much New York DNA to it. And the story of this backer has so much New York DNA.
Exactly.
And I got to put the squeeze on some people, and if they come through, I'm going to get it.
That's right, Kev. That's right.
Also, shout out to the Bronx. The Bronx doesn't get enough love. Yes. I say that as a resident of the Bronx.
Yes.
I was going to say, Matt, I thought as soon as you saw this, you're going to be like, ooh. This is set in the Bronx, and I gotta say, Eddie, there's very few heroes that are set in the Bronx. So I think you have something here, besides the fact of what you have already, because if you really look at the industry, there's very few heroes that are based in the Bronx.
I can't think of one actually.
Everybody's like,
it'll be Zed. I know, right? Who? Well, one thing I wanted really, because I love New York. New York's part of me. I'll never leave here. It is part of who I am. So New York, I love New York. It's an understatement. And, I really did want to pay homage to the city and what it does and the influence it has. I mean, the influence of hip hop, for example, is now worldwide. There's no denying it. It's in everything, in every music, every branding, every commercial, So one thing that was interesting in this book, when he lands in the middle of the South Bronx. He lands specifically on Charlotte Street in 1982, and it was completely like I showed it to you. It was completely abandoned like that. And what's interesting, guys, which I found super interesting, I showed this to a couple of people, and two of them wrote back specifically, like, Eddie, if a robot lands in the city, it's not going to look like this. People would see him. It's not that much desolation. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, it was.
No, it is very historical. If you look it up on YouTube, look up Charlotte Street to be specific.
Dude, people forget that after the blackout of 77, the whole city kind of burned. And then all you had was destroyed buildings everywhere.
Correct. And there were you blocks and blocks upon what you see him land in, So I really wanted to give attention to that, because really this story is a contrast of both, negative things as well as positive things. How could something so positive, like, for example, the hip hop generation, come from this environment? How could something that influenced the world, both not only in art, in music, and certainly in fashion, how could that come from something that was really that decimated, So it is. It's also very historical. Also, when you end up finding out where he comes from, there's a lot of history connected to that. So, yes, I love New York and I love the Bronx. That's for sure.
and if that doesn't sell you on it, well, wait till you see the videotape.
Like Kevin said, we're gonna put the squeeze on you if you don't.
All right, watch this, folks.
My name is Eddie Lima, and I'm the creator of End of Zed, a project I've been working on for years. The story follows a robot who crash lands in the Bronx in 1982, severely damaged and with no memory, as he navigates one of the city's most turbulent times, shaped by the rise of the crack epidemic. He also discovers the powerful, positive force of hip-hop.
Where am I? Party people, are we ready? 3, 2, 1.
End of Zed isn't just another comic. It fuses the rebellious energy of New York City with a gripping dystopian narrative. This story delivers visually striking action and powerful themes. If you're into bold, unapologetic storytelling, then the End of Zed is for you. By backing this project, you're not only helping bring Zed's story to life, but you'll gain access to exclusive rewards. I can't wait for all of you to experience Zed's world. Back my project today and become part of this amazing journey.
Love it. All
right, that video kicked ass. That's one of the best Kickstarter videos I've ever seen. That video kicked ass.
Well,
agreed.
That's why I call him Matt Sugar. See? So if he's mad at me, that's why I call you Matt Sugar, Matt Seeger.
So now we know why he's sugar. He's so sweet, man.
Yeah.
Because that was sweet.
It was.
Appreciate that.
My
Thank
God.
you. Yes, it's exciting, guys. It really is. It's my first Kickstarter, my first time dealing with this, and to the point I was trying to mention earlier with you, Maddie, it's amazing how this indie comic community has just been so with open arms. I met so many people that I consider friends now at this point that I'll probably never stop speaking to. It's amazing how this community really, no competition in a sense, or at least maybe not in front of my face, but really helping each other, supporting each other, and so it's amazing place to be.
I think about it personally. Like when I was a Wednesday Warrior, I went in and I knew I needed to get X-Men, Excalibur, and Batman. If I saw that there was a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that I wanted to buy, it didn't stop me from get X-Men, Excalibur, Batman. It just meant I added Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And as a creator, that's the way I look at it is,
Exactly.
Like when I read this and I like it and I tell people about it and they like it, well, guess what? You got a new reader and one of my readers happy with me for letting them know that it exists. I've had people thank me for reading Sacrimony.
Oh,
wow.
And I get credit for it. I'm not a good person. I'm using her talent to get me credit. But it works for everybody, you know?
Yeah. But that's rare in this day and age, Kev, right? I mean, everything's so competitive. Things are so volatile between communities and stuff like that. So it was a really big eye opener of really, and I think as I'm going along in this journey, I'm figuring out that the main reason why is because we all got a story to tell that means something to us. And like the saying, and I don't know if it's Confucius or Buddhist, but art that is hidden is wasted. Okay. So if you have anything that you have, and if you're not showing it and sharing it, it's being wasted. Art that's being art that is hidden is wasted. So in this case, I think that's what the community is. All of us have these stories, things that could, really affect people in a positive way, have them to learn and grow. It's a beautiful thing. I'm certainly grateful for it.
Yeah. Also, I love the beauty of indie comics and the indie comics community because, like, we can do anything. There's no publisher or like editor or whatever marketing department telling you like, no, you can't do that. That's not marketable. You'll never find an audience for it. Like, you put it out there, you make like the weirdest story you can, throw it out there, and there's some weirdos who will be like, this is exactly what I've been looking for. Like, this is what Marvel hasn't been doing, what DC hasn't been doing. Like this is cool stuff. And that's why I love indie comics so much. Like, if I can find something that's like really weird, really out there, that's like really personal for the creator, like I wanna get that sold so I can see more of it. So I'm kind of selfish like that too. Like, yeah, I want people to read it so that the creator can make like issue 2 and issue 3 and keep seeing where this is going.
Yeah, great point.
And we like to tell the people out there, nobody's making money off of Kickstarter. Unless you're one of the bigger companies, you're not making money off of Kickstarter. All that's happening is that that creator is able to make the next issue.
Yeah,
that's all that's happening because they're going to put that same money, because none of it's going into their pockets. That same money is going right into the next book.
Speaking of which, how long is End of Zed going to be?
How many issues?
Yeah.
4. Yep, it'll be 4. Yeah, and this is the first one. Yep.
Short and sweet.
And that's a defined end, or is it?
Yeah. The whole thing's already written, Kev. Yeah, the whole thing's a screenplay, and we already cut it up. There's going to be some little things that we're going to add in and we're going to revise as we go over. But in general, it'll definitely be 4. And it's a great story, I tell you. I really, when you get to the second and third one, really people's mouths are going to start to drop, and then you're going to really see how this whole thing comes together. So it's super exciting.
I can see that from the first issue. But so what happens if you get to the 4th issue? I guess what everybody's asking is, you get to the 4th issue, you got the story done. Does the character live on from that? Do you do something?
I don't think we can know that.
Yeah, no spoilers.
No, there's some things that could definitely lend well to another 4. No doubt about it. Yeah. Yep. Yes, you can. See,
it's very smart to end a story on 4 with a chance to come back to it if you desire.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yep.
But sometimes ending it at 4 is blowing a very cute robot up into 1,000 pieces.
I would cry if he did that. I would cry. I would email him like a video of myself crying too.
Okay, Eddie, you need to do one special issue with that's the end, and just send that to Matta, and then everybody else gets the real ending.
Matta be like, "How dare you!"
Oh my God!
It's centered on April Fools, right? April 1st. April Fools.
Give an Iron Giant ending. I still don't forgive them for that.
But yeah, I tell you,
it's coming back together though, little by little.
Little by little. He's showing up in other projects, other universes, other worlds.
I'm glad you appreciate, Matta, the character design though, because it really took a while, and I actually did a lot of research on good character design, and one of the things that I really appreciated was it tells you, like in any good character design, if you look at the silhouette of the character with no colors, no details, that you can see who it is. So if you see Mickey Mouse in the silhouette, it's Mickey Mouse, Marge Simpson, Homer Simpson. So same with Zed, that if you were to see just the silhouette of him, you would see his big head, smaller body. So everything meant something, because at the end of the day, I spent so much time on this. It's going probably on 2.5 years. So certainly I wanted to make sure that I paid attention to every detail.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at this going, okay, where's the toy? Where's
there you go.
Oh my God.
And did I ever tell the story where I was going to actually throw this project out the window till Ralphie saved me?
Oh yeah.
Did I tell you the Ralph story? So I end up I end up finding out there's a movie called Wild Robots coming out, and the story looks awfully similar to mine. You know, the robot lands, and he's, in this case, she doesn't have any memory, badly damaged. Oh, wait a minute, mine does too. And so I remember telling Rob, I think this isn't going to happen, but he talked me off the bridge, and I'm here to. He said, Eddie, listen. He actually saw it. And he said, Eddie, apples and oranges, don't worry about it.
I can tell you from watching the trailer of that movie and the trailer of yours, that's all they have in common. You know, like you're telling a different story that might start in a similar way, but you know, you just tell your story and let the audience tell you that it wasn't good because they've already seen something else, especially if you've already started on it. You know.
What I tell you though, Kevin, and reality is, I'm not that delusional to think that anything super unique that's never been seen before would come out of this set, because in reality everything is derivative anyway, right?
Of course.
Think about just popular music, for example. That's just basically 4 chords. Every song that you've loved comes down to maybe 4 to 5 chords, and that's it. They're just kind of playing them differently. So that's what I'm doing with this. End of Z is just me playing differently with these themes, like the Fish Out of Water theme, and just kind of expanding upon it in a different environment, though.
Just remember, all art is stolen from the first cave painting.
There you go.
All derivative of that, whatever it is, picture of a guy with the spear about to attack a bear. We're all ripping off of that.
That's it. So he deserves royalty, whatever that caveman's name is.
Yeah.
You know what? If he shows up at my house, I'll give him $1.
We all should, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, also the thing is, like, you can have a premise and go in a completely different direction. Like, you could give all 4 of us a pitch right now of like what the characters, what they're doing, what's like, you know, what's the main plot line, and we'll all come up with something completely different.
4 different stories.
Yeah, 4 completely different stories. The only thing they have in common is like, all right, the main character's name and the setting and like the basic plot.
Okay, so there's a bar filled with unrepentant goofballs, and it's really funny. Am I talking about Cheers or Sunny in Philadelphia?
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Those 2 shows are there hasn't been a joke that's the same for either series, but the whole concept's basically the same. You know, so I'm glad you didn't throw it out.
As writers, what we're taught is that all the stories have been told already. It's just your version of the story that hasn't been told.
And that's why I'm still in awe, Ralph, when I do see something that I think is unique, you know, say, oh my gosh, I never really thought about that in that perspective. Like I just watched The Penguin, right? I'm no spoilers here or anything like that. And boy, what a fresh way of looking at like a superhero kind of movie. So it's amazing that we can still keep evolving from the same story.
I don't want to poo-poo that show because everybody seems to like it. I have this problem. Colin Farrell.
Enough said.
One of the best looking guys on the planet.
Yes,
true. Okay, I can see where you're going with this.
Super great actor, right? You don't think there's a fat 55-year-old character actor that needs a job?
Colin Farrell, very fair.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell can't just do an $80 million movie, and some fat guy, the Joe Pesci of our generation, can't play the friggin' Penguin. That's my only issue with it. I'm really glad people like it, but come on, Colin Farrell, leave something for the character actors.
It's funny that you say that because there was a rumor in the 90s for a while that Danny DeVito was going to be Wolverine.
Wow.
I remember hearing that. Yeah.
And it makes complete sense, but people were like,
He's short and angry, yeah.
And hairy. Very hairy.
Like that is the criteria for Wolverine.
Exactly. I was hoping that in the Deadpool movie they would have brought out an older Wolverine that was Danny.
Oh, that would have been hilarious. You're right. Oh, they should have. That was missed.
For shame.
Oh, that would have been great.
That would have probably been the only thing people talked about, like out of the entire movie. Because
that's what happened with Cavill when they showed the Cavill Wolverine. That's all it was. No, what was it? The Cavill-orine? That's what they were calling it.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. But Kev, to your point though. You're right. If you did have an actor that wasn't Colin Farrell, I guess what I would question is, would they make it? Right. I think to have his name of his stature and with his gravitas, they're like, okay, this will give us enough money to actually kind of make this. I'm guessing, as opposed to if they just hired, some chubby dude like me, I could play Penguin.
I was trying to get you cast, dude. I was trying to get you cast. You're up in New York.
A Latin Penguin. El pingüino. Wait, how do you say penguin in Spanish? Is anyone Latin here? Okay, we gotta say penguin.
That's it. You said it right.
Is,
A
yeah, is
pingüino.
it, isn't it just penguino?
And a
Is
pingüino.
it?
Yeah.
I don't know. My mother.
All right.
I think my mother doesn't
can I-
listen to this show.
Can I tell a short
You're
New York
disappointed.
penguin story?
Go
Yes.
for it.
This is not my story. This is my friend's nephew. She said her sister called her and said, "Do you know what, I can't remember the kid's name is, did today?" And she's like, "Of course I don't." They went to the zoo in Central Park. That's not the Manhattan Zoo, is it? Whatever. There's a zoo in Central Park.
I think that's the only zoo in Manhattan.
So he came home from his field trip and he ran right in the bathroom. And his grandma was watching him as like, after like 20 minutes, she was like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry, Grandma." And she knocked on the door and she finally went in and there was a penguin live in their tub.
How did I know that? Where's the story?
The kid had taken a penguin, put it in his backpack, and brought it home.
Oh,
So the grandma freaked out. She called, her daughter. Her daughter runs home, and there's a penguin in her tub. And she's like, so she calls the zoo and says, "My son stole a penguin." And they said, "It happens all the time. Just send us $12. The gift shop, it's not a big deal." And she went, "No, he stole a penguin from the," and then the lady like screamed. So they had to send like this ice truck out. They're like, "Put all the ice you have in the tub." It ended up, the penguin got home safe. It wasn't hurt, but this 7-year-old, 8-year-old child decided, I would like to bring that bird home. And that, my friends, is my favorite story about New York penguins.
I don't think there's any story that can beat that. That is the most New York story to happen to a New York penguin.
I just love the person going, "I'll send $12. Don't worry about it. It happens all the time." No, I don't think it does.
When you first said that, I said, "Wow, penguins only really $12." Wow,
the going rate, really?
Yeah, that's where I was too. I was like, "Damn, this is money." Yeah.
I think
how did he reach the?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
These are all questions I asked the aunt, and she didn't have answers for me.
All right, now I have to go to the Central Park Zoo, specifically look at the penguins, and try to recreate that scene in my head.
Yeah, no, you just should try to recreate it. If you don't have a penguin in your tub, you are a wimp.
If you guys don't see me next week, Ralph is gonna have to pay my bill.
We know what happened.
No, it'll be great next week. You show up and the penguin's right next to you.
It's like right on my lap. Like,
her hair's blowing from the AC down as hard as she could possibly.
I'm wearing like a hat and like a big winter coat. It's like, oh, worth it.
And when the cops ask you, "Yep, this is Kevin Joseph's idea."
He made me do it.
Kevin Joseph, co-creator of Tart. There he is. Oh, that's a great story. Love it.
So, Matt, we've been talking to Sorcier. I was saying your last name. We've been talking Sacramony a little bit. Do you have a link where they can check it out so you can talk a little bit about it?
Oh, that is very clever. Yes, I do have a link. Let's just throw that in the chat. Yeah, so after a few years of hiatus, Sacramony is actually back as a webcomic because I had the time to update my site and kind of streamline it and do all that. So yeah, I'm uploading the pages little by little. We're on issue 2 right now, and I'm doing an update every Monday and Thursday. It still won't catch up to like how far ahead we are in the Kickstarter, but like it's going. It's free to read now. Nobody can claim that like, "Oh, well, I can't find your work. I don't know what you do." Like it's there on the internet. It's for free. Check it out. It is a story about a girl that died and then she got better. And as with all mysterious resurrection stories, there's a catch. She has no memory of her past, no idea why she has magical powers or demon wings that she has to hide from society. So it's kind of her and her mom trying to have a normal life in a big city that wants her dead again.
So I love that whole she died and then she got better.
Yep.
I've told Matta this to on shows like this before. I love Tolkien. I love fantasy that comes from Tolkien inspiration.
Yeah.
What I love about Sacrimony is it is fantasy, and it doesn't come from it at all. It's its own fantasy world, its own fantasy rules, its own fantasy aesthetic, and that's what I really love about Sacrimony is it's brand new, and it's fantasy, but it's brand new fantasy, and it's a really fun read.
But Kevin, at the same time, you know, Matta does this epic feel to it, which makes it feel like it's a Tolkien or it's one of those things, because, you know, she's actually crafting and molding and putting things in there. You know, she's actually creating this world so you can actually feel yourself in it, you know, and it always feels, and it always has felt epic to me.
Aw, you guys. Also, it's funny you mentioned that, because if I had even started Sacrimony in like 2013 or something instead of 2016, it would have been more derivative of Tolkien, because I was afraid of breaking that mold. Because, you know, there's always that voice in your head where it's like, oh, if you make it too weird, then people are going to be like, oh, well, that's not the fantasy I know. Like, elves are supposed to be like this. Dwarves are supposed to be like that. So I just kind of threw all of that out the window and just, like, made all of my own races from scratch, made my own, like, you know, thousands of years of history. I have, like, this field guide. So that, you know, it's like a little extracurricular thing that tells you about, there's, like, the gods, you know, like different ranks for like religious authorities, the races. So there's like a little thing about that. So yeah, just in case it's like a little too weird for people, I can pick up the field guide and kind of understand things a little more. But yeah, it's been fun to build this entire world from scratch. 0 out of 10 though would not do it again for another story.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of work.
What happened between 2013 and 2016 that you're able to say screw it?
Question.
I had a talk with friends because, like, I was not sure which direction to go. Yeah, it was a very long talk. It was as I was building the world. Like, I really started building the world properly from scratch in like 2014. So I had a friend who I was like running ideas by. Otherwise, like, I can't do this alone, definitely. So like, I need to ask people, like, you know, does this make sense? Like, what about this? What about that? And kind of get feedback and bounce ideas. So yeah, like 2014 is where I went all in on just like throwing everything that I knew about fantasy out and just building it from the ground up.
You know, the other thing I love about this is it has this D&D feel to it, because like you're talking about how you crafted it, and it sounds like a DM crafting this universe where these characters need to play in, you know, at least, you know, a homebrewed game, you know, because, you know,
I love homebrew
you're
games.
right. There was a while there where people wanted the fantasy they wanted, and they get upset. And even with the DMs that I would run into, they oh, I tried this, and they want what they've heard about. But I love the fact that DMs continued to do what they were doing, and then, you know, stuff like Sacrimony came out of it, because, you know, you got these worlds and created from the personal heads of these DMs, of these writers, of these creators, and it's so much better.
Yeah, as someone who has been playing D&D for like 10 years now, it's always like, for me, I love the homebrew games better because I don't know what to expect. Right. Because if they're suddenly like, oh, you know, Tyr, the god of justice, has sent you, you're just like, oh yeah, Tyr, whatever. Like, but if someone just makes up something and, you know, just throws it at you, like a new god or new this, new cult, whatever, and you're just like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I wanted to emulate that feeling in Sacrimony, where you have these races, you have these gods, you have like these people, you have no idea what they're about. So you have to just like sit there and see how it plays out. You can't be like, oh, well, you know, the elves are like high society, so this is probably what's going to happen. Dwarves are like this is like that. That's probably going to happen. Like, you have no idea.
No idea.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love throwing people into that kind of chaos.
And that's what's happening as you read through Sacrimony. That's exactly what's happening, because you don't know where it's going, because, you know, usually you have an idea where it's going. But as you're reading Sacrimony and you have these, if you do have the ideas of how the gods are supposed to act and how they're supposed to be, then when you're reading Sacrimony, you're gonna be like, what?
It's like, wow, this god really sucks. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, they do. Or even like, you know, in typical fantasy, there's always these like large scale wars and stuff going on. And it's just like, wait, so you're talking about a kid and her mom just trying to survive in a city. Like, what's interesting about that? And then you start getting into it and you're like, oh, that happened. Oh, no. Oh, that was a bad decision. Right. And it snowballs from there. Right.
Definitely.
So yeah, you're not getting like the knights and chivalry and epic fights. You're getting a more down-to-earth human story that I think a lot of people can relate to.
And you guys are gonna get upset, especially at the mom and the dad.
You'll get upset at everybody. Everybody makes terrible
I
decisions.
gotta say, even her.
Yeah, even Kajad down the
Oh
road,
my
you're gonna
God.
just be like, oh, you stupid little baby, why did you do that?
Why? Yeah. It was funny when I first talked to Matt about this. I was sitting there going, why?
And you know, the fun thing is you will find out why, and then it will leave you with more whys, and eventually those whys will get answered, and it's
Right.
just it's a big onion of whys where you just keep peeling back the layers, and it's more why.
And that's
But you will get answers.
exactly. That's why you should read this, folks, because you heard it. You hear what you're gonna get.
Right.
You're gonna
And
get
as
an
you-
onion.
And as you're peeling, you'll be crying like, oh,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
lost
you actually
humanity.
will.
Yep.
A lot of
Lost
people
world.
said that the end of chapter 1 like made them cry, and I was like, oh wow, sorry.
Wow. Yeah.
Like the end of the big trade paperback when they got to like the last few pages and things were getting like really, really tense between the mom and the kid. It was just like by the time they got to the end, it was just like tears. And I'm like, wow, I wish I could see every reader's reaction in real time as they're going through the story.
That would be cool. Yeah. But you didn't
Put a
feel
little
guilty over
camera.
that, right? I mean, you elicited an emotion that was already there. Don't feel guilty. Yeah.
No, I don't feel guilty. I'm like my hobby is like delving into like psychology and sociology books and stuff and like, you know,
Mhm.
just finding out how people tick. I have like I'd say like a good bullshit radar where I can kind of like
Mhm.
read people and understand what they're about and stuff. So it's like I reflect that in my comic, and also I just like to see how people react to things.
Yeah, me too.
But will that onion be Shrek?
No, but only for copyright reasons. I think someone already owns him.
All right. Yeah, folks. See, 3 great creators, 3 great projects. You know, we keep showing you this stuff. Go check it out, folks. You know, the indie's the way to go. If you're complaining about Marvel and DC, and you want something different, then go find something different in indie, because whatever you want, you'll find in indie.
Absolutely. There's something for everybody in the wacky wild world of indie comics.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's funny because every time I would talk to one of my I guess the bigger friends, the ones that follow the industry books, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm doing a teddy bear superhero," and they're like, "You're doing a what?" You know, that's not gonna sell. That's not gonna. I'm like, I don't care what you're gonna say.
It will sell because you know, you put something out there, there is an audience for it. Like
Exactly.
you give it enough time, you let it marinate, you keep building an audience. There are people who will go for that. Me being one of them. I'm here for the weird stuff. Don't give me another like superhero, you know, defeats the bad guy and gets the girl, saves the world thing. Like that's been done a million times. Give me the weird stuff where like a guy dies and comes back as a potato or something. Like that's my jam.
I think that's why anime's been doing well, is because they do that stuff.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I died and I got reincarnated as a bowl of soup. And I'm like, yes, I'm here for this. I need to know what happens. Because you don't know what's going to happen to that bowl of soup. Right?
No, you don't. Yeah, because you're like, so many things can happen to it.
And then it's like,
You know,
and then, you know, you don't expect it. And suddenly it's like flushed down the toilet. And then it's like following the soup that's like in the sewers or something.
And that's exactly what usually happens.
You know, speaking of things that are like unique and us liking things that are different, what was something, in your guys' opinion, something that was in mainstream that the whole world loved, but you scratch your head and said, what am I missing? And I'll give you mine first.
Okay.
What you guys think? Forrest Gump. Everyone loves that movie. I mean, it is like probably one of the top 10 movies in American film lore. You know, we're talking, Kev, about things that the whole world loves, but you, for some reason, just can't connect with it. And I think I'm the only fool that doesn't like Forrest Gump. Is there anything like that was out there that was super popular and you scratched your head and you said, oh man, I don't get it?
You know, for me, like, I will agree with you. Forrest Gump was a little like, it was kind of weird. Like it existed. I didn't have a super strong opinion on it. But for me, I think it's this new desire to create these really sad, sympathetic villains. Where it's like, oh, we're gonna rewrite the Joker and make him like really sad and relatable, and like you don't need to do that. Like not every single villain has to be this like poor, abused, like sad little person that like, you know, you have to feel sorry for. Like sometimes people can just be pieces of shit.
Right.
But even those people that you're supposed to feel sorry for, they've decided to go down that path. They don't have to go down that path. They decided this. Yeah,
they don't. But I think like it's fine in small doses. But then when everybody wants to do it, it makes it less special.
That doesn't matter. You're right. You're right.
Like everything is fine in small doses.
It's like, oh my god, he had this backstory. I'm like, still an asshole. Oh, how can you?
Yeah, or I hate it when it's always a cop out where it's like, oh, his mother died when he was little, and that's why he's evil. Like, okay,
very easy and convenient. Yeah.
Or like his wife was killed by aliens, and that's why he hates aliens. And like,
I mean, that's a pretty good reason.
It is, but it's so overused.
If an alien comes down here and kills my wife, I'm not gonna be like, I like aliens.
Well, no.
E.T. eat a bag of dicks.
I mean, I'd tell E.T. that anyway, and it would be hilarious. But when it's just done over and over again, like you can find another reason. Not everyone's wife has to die to aliens. Not everyone's mom has to die when they're like 5 years old. Like, be creative.
I agree with you, man. But I feel like they can have that backstory. But after a certain point, you have to say this guy's a fucking asshole.
Yeah,
this guy's evil.
Like,
I don't care about his backstory.
Like you, sir, you are 45 years old. Your mom died when you were 5. You have not been to therapy. Like, come on.
How about you, Kevin?
Well, I have to say that as somebody who went to Forrest Gump like the week it was out and liked it, it is one of the movies that I liked when I was, 18, 19 when it came out. And I have almost no interest in watching again. So I think you just kind of realize something in the moment that I think all of us later on realized. It's fine, but it's saccharine at best. And there's, Gary Sinise is great. I'll ride that boat forever. Lieutenant Dan forever.
I love Lieutenant Dan. Yeah.
For me, mine that I can respect sort of what people like about it, but I think is shitty is Mad Max Fury Road.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm an outlier.
Maybe everybody else is right. I want to hear your opinion so I know if I agree with you or not.
We have a movie where 6 women get in a truck and they drive to the right. And then they stop. And a man says, "You're stupid. You should do it this way." And they drive to the left. And then the credits roll. And I'm told that I just saw a movie with a plot that's feminist.
That is not
okay. We are in agreement then. Because you know what? Me and my best friend, we had heard like all of the dudes on the internet crying about it, saying that it's like feminist propaganda or whatever, and like how it was so radical. So we immediately went to see it to see what all of the male tears were about, and then we came out of it and we're just like, this was just like a 2-hour-long clown car chase.
Yeah.
The stunts were impeccable. I have no problem with it, but if I want to go to Universal and watch the Indiana Jones stunt spectacular, that's what I'll do. When I go to a movie theater, I want to watch a movie.
Literally 2-hour-long clown car chase.
Yeah, and
with special effects.
With a guy with a guitar with gas with flame come. I don't get it. I've never got it, but I also don't want to take away that other people love it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, so many other of my female friends are like, "Oh my god, it's so inspirational. When I feel down, I watch it again," and I'm like, what are you getting from this that I'm not getting?
Yeah.
What I'm going to say is that none of the movies pop into my head right now, but that's usually how it is with me. But Harry Potter is always in my head. And Harry Potter, everybody loved him. And everybody was like, oh my God, Harry Potter. And I was reading the books. And as I was reading the books, I was like, okay, I don't think I like this character. And then I hit the 5th book, and he's such an asshole in the 5th book. And I'm like, dude, this guy is not a hero. This guy is not anything.
Okay.
This guy is a punk, and people die because. And I'm supposed to like this guy. Right. And then I sat there and I said, you know who's the hero of this story? Is Hermione. Hermione's the hero of Harry Potter. It's Harry Potter. And I'm like, and don't get me wrong, I love the Harry Potter series. I just don't like Harry Potter.
Right.
Yeah.
Just don't like the guy it's named after.
Oh my God, no! I'm telling you, I hit the 5th book, and I'm like, because at first I thought it was like maybe it's my imagination. So and when I hit the 5th book, that's when he was the most volatile, and I'm sitting there going, I don't like you.
Interesting.
Oh, I'm like, oh my God. Oh, the same thing with The Dark Knight Returns or whatever the movies are. They're good movies, but they're not good Batman movies.
Okay.
Because Batman did not quit.
Yeah.
And Christopher Nolan does not know how to write a detective story.
No, he doesn't.
It's just it's a good action story, and I do like them. But the criticism that I do agree is right is, you know, the world's greatest detective is always behind in those movies, and behind in a way that the world's greatest detective wouldn't be.
Exactly.
Whereas even though I might enjoy those personally more than the last one with what's his name, you know, like the emo Batman,
right?
Right.
At least I saw Batman being a detective and the Riddler being a clever, you know, the clues were clever, and so I enjoyed that part of that movie more than the Nolans, even if I like the Nolan movies better as an experience.
I gotta say, my favorite part of the Nolan movies is the Joker. Great Joker.
Of course.
Absolute legend.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
If Batman is like, oh, the whole movie, that's all you see Batman doing. I'm like, dude, man up.
So here's what I'll say about Nolan's Batman and really Christian Bale's Batman. This is what I like about it. We've always seen Bruce Wayne and Batman. Bale gives us Bruce Wayne on the town, which is an act. He gives us Batman, which is an act. And then he gives us Bruce Wayne with Lucius Fox or Alfred. And that's the only time you see the real
person.
Human.
I can give you that one. Yeah.
And I appreciate that we get that in that I've never seen before. I love Michael Keaton, but we just got Bruce Wayne and we got Batman. And, you know, but with Bale, you watch him with Lucius Fox and you watch him with Alfred, and it's a third character that's completely different than either of the other two personas that he puts on.
That's why when I saw Ben Affleck as Batman, it was one of the first times where okay, I can see this. Bruce Wayne is the outfit and Batman is the person. It was the first time that I saw them actually do it the way it's supposed to be done with Ben Affleck. You know, and a lot of people like criticize Ben, but he did a great job at being Batman.
My problem with the movie season is not Ben Affleck. Yeah,
I know, exactly.
I might have some problems, but I'm not an outlier of my opinion of those movies. It couldn't come out because I'm not the only one who's like, really? Batman and Superman just watch that guy blow up and neither one of them cares? Really?
Well, my issue with what's his face is Superman is just that it's this dark Batman and Batman, which is what it is Batman and Batman. you don't have they're both Batman, you know. I'm like, we already have a Batman, we don't need Superman to be Batman.
Yeah, Superman is supposed to be more of this like positive sort of
Stupid S means hope. There you go. You let us down like a rabbit hole there.
I guess also, another thing that does kind of irk me about things is that like the need to make things that should not be grimdark make them very grimdark. Completely unnecessary.
Grimdark, My Little Pony.
Yeah. My Little Pony, My Little Pony.
Yeah, no, we don't need
Pinkie Pie's gonna have a party of death.
We are the 4 horsemen ponies.
I think Robot Chicken actually did that.
Yeah, they did.
They did the apocalypse
Oh,
pony.
that's great.
I'm Pestilence Pony.
Exactly. Oh my God. All right. One last time.
That was a great segue.
What did you tell the people where they can find you and all the good stuff?
Is this me? Kevin
Kevin.
Joseph CMX. I'm on Blue Sky more often than anything else. You can find me. You can find Tart Official on Facebook, but Instagram or Blue Sky, Kevin Joseph CMX.
That took a long time to put up. I gotta say, you guys are in a good place. You guys are at 6,483.
We couldn't be happier. We want to find, if all we got for the rest of the thing was $5 PDF backers that read the books, we would be ecstatic. Yes, we would love the people that get the card set, the connecting covers, everything. We'd love to get $60 backers because that's awesome. But we just want people to read the books, find out if they like Tart, if they like Miskatonic High. We're biased. We think you will. But for $5, you can get all 3 stories and find out if you like it, and then follow one or both of us.
Which is good. And folks, you look at this art. The art alone should be capturing you people.
Yeah. And that on Twitter, if you want to find the artist, he is Benalki, Benalki.
Dude, you guys are really close to 200. Come on, folks. We can get them to 200 before they.
I'm gonna guess that you guys get to 300 by the end.
I agree.
I always want to get to 300 because I want to do the This Is Sparta GIF. That's always my goal, and every Kickstarter is to have kicking them in the hole. This is Sparta. So please, people, even if you only do $1, you get us closer to the GIF.
All right, you know what we'll do here, folks? If you get him to 300, Kevin will do a video where he's kicking somebody into a.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna go get a stuffed penguin and I'll kick it into my pool.
There you go.
Get to 300.
That's a great idea.
Kicking a stuffed penguin into my pool.
No.
Come on, folks! I want to see this now. 300, folks. You got 9 days. You can do it.
Yes, absolutely. We need this to happen.
Imagine makes a video, someone sees that without the context of tonight's. What's the...
Oh, dude, man.
I think that's even funnier if someone gets it without the context.
I would love to just send that video to somebody that doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Maybe I'll cover my face as I do it.
Love it.
You need to get a Spartan helmet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like build that into a stretch goal where it's like, you raise money for the helmet, you raise money for the penguin.
Oh, I can see it.
Glorious.
All right, Eddie, tell the people where they can find you. Tell them all the good stuff.
Yes, 16 days to go, everyone. And we're getting there. So I'm going to line up with a lot of great podcast
look, you went up
shows.
during the show.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Dude,
exactly.
I turned my phone on the back. I have to have this comic book. Are you kidding me?
Appreciate it. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yes. It's my first ever Kickstarter. Again, amazing community and along with an amazing story that I really want to share with people. And it's only going to evolve from here. So really, it's my first Kickstarter, but I don't think it'll be my last because really the experience has been great. Other than me pulling out my hair, and that's why I'm wearing a hat. Other than that,
it's fine. This is a wig.
There you go.
Well, look at me. I'm already gone.
There you go. But so yes, and you could find me here at Kickstarter, or you can actually I have my own website, www.endofz.com. It kind of goes through the process and the the 2-year process of making this, and then also big on Instagram. There's End of Z at Instagram, at End of Z, as well as at ZNK238. That's where all my graffiti work is. At ZNK238. So thank you. Thanks for the opportunity for being here.
Graffiti work.
Yes,
you definitely should. And Matta, go for it.
Yes. You can find me on Instagram or Blue Sky at Matta Sorcier. That's MattaSorcier. You can find my comic at sacrimony.com. And yeah, that's about all I'm up to.
You have it, folks. Matta, of course, will be here when she can, but usually every Monday.
No, you're stuck with me every Monday now. That's it. That's your problem, not mine.
Oh, poor you.
So there you have it, folks. Every Monday you can see Matta here. Eddie will come and go as we need him because I like having him around. He adds a lot to the show. And Kevin, like I told most people that come on the show, especially you, because you geeked out pretty good there. You can come back anytime you want.
Also, I need to give Kevin credit because he's the reason that I'm even here. As a stupid little baby comic creator, he was the first person to give me a shot at talking on his own show back when he did Explain Yourself. So yeah, it's
cool.
Yeah, he gave me a shot and I never shut up since then. So this is all your fault, Kevin.
I'm proud.
You did it, Kevin.
I am proud to have been the person to unleash this.
Yay.
So
that
Kevin,
and her crime spree of stealing penguins, all because of you.
exactly.
Yep.
Her penguin crime spree is coming up.
Starting tomorrow.
Yep. Central Park Zoo won't know what hit them, or they will, and then I'll be in jail.
Did you stop doing your show?
Oh, I did, but I gave it away to Ben Morse and Joey Galvez. We used to do it Friday
that
nights at
explains.
11.
I've heard the title before, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, I'm like, oh, okay, there we go.
We did it Friday nights at 11 so that I had all day Saturday and Sunday to recoup for the work week. And then I got COVID at the beginning of last year, and all of a sudden, those 2 days weren't enough recovery. And my buddy Will Allred did it with me, and we just didn't have another part of the week where we could both show up. So we were like, we'd rather someone else take it over than me do it alone or him do it alone. So it's in good hands.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
But I've had people step up like Matta,
Nice.
Eddie, the rest of the gang, and it makes the show much easier. You're totally right, Kevin. When you're by yourself, I know folks, you think we do this stuff and it's whatever you think it is, but there's this a moment of tired when you're doing everything by yourself, which is why I give Matta so many props, because she's doing all that stuff by herself, and I'm like, no way. I'm like, dude, I haven't published yet because I'm tired of writing and doing the show too at the same time.
Yeah, the show, it's like, it's cool, you're hanging out and whatever, and then like right after that, it's like dead asleep. Yeah. And oh man, the Explain Yourself shows, like they didn't really have any sort of like time allotment. So sometimes we went until like 1 a.m. or like 1:30 if things were really great, and then it was just like, yeah, 2 days of rest still wasn't enough to recover from that.
Not at all, man. Not at
We turned
all.
off at 3 a.m. one night, and I was like, I don't think that was a good idea.
Oh no, I need a week to like recover.
Sometimes the hardest part is like tonight when we're geeking out, and the show is already a little bit over than what it's supposed to be. Those are the nights like we have a lot of fun, but at the same time, when we finish, I'm here like, holy crap.
Why does my brain hurt?
Exactly.
What did I do? I didn't even do drugs. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah, dude, that's what it feels like when you're doing it. You're like, oh my God, did I just do something?
I'm so happy to have turned the tables on you. That's great. That makes me feel good. Tomorrow's headache is on me.
Yes.
Me and Eddie.
Worth it. 10,000% worth it. Would do it again.
So, folks, speaking of being published for the first time, we suck at comics. I joined this madcap group of people that say we suck at comics.
I love that name.
Awesome.
And if you want to see the Written with Ralph's first published work, you will go and be a part of this campaign. Sign up to get notified right now. We are at 85. Oh, we're pretty close to 100.
Oh, yes. Let's get to 100.
Get this to 100. Get us out there, and you'll get your hands on the very first published Written with Ralph work. And a little surprise is that the person doing the art for my little published work will be Shadow Rabbit. So you get a double deal on this thing if you go and support.
I'm so curious because I've never seen his drawings. I've only seen his clay work. So
Exactly.
oh my God, I need to do this.
I wrote the story. He read it, and then he did something with it, and it fits perfectly. That's all I'm going to say.
It was amazing.
Of course, our guy. Let's see. Where is he? There we go. Our guy is still doing his beautiful. If you love pieces in your role playing, you need to go support this right now. This stuff is amazing. He was actually doing a show at 8:30 today talking all about his stuff. And this stuff is just, if you like figures, if you like pieces, if you like your role play in a certain way, he calls this like a live action World of Warcraft.
Also, the pieces are adorable, aren't they?
Oh my God, they are. They're fantastic. And he actually creates them himself.
Absolutely bonkers.
Dude, we've had him on the show, and we'll probably have him on the show again as a guest host. So, you can hear all about it from him, but at the same time, go check this out. It is amazing. And let's see, I think one last thing. Oh, yeah. We had our friend here on last week. And if you like a nice little D&D story, with well, it's more than D&D. It's like a role playing because his character goes from game to game trying to deal with the situation she finds herself in as she tries to get herself out of it.
So it's like Quantum Leap, but with D&D.
Exactly.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, with role play.
With
Because
role
it doesn't
play.
have to just be D&D or it doesn't have to just be role play. It could be a board game.
Right.
I would not want to be stuck in a Ouija board.
I gotta ask him about that. Are you gonna be is your character gonna be in a Ouija board?
Oh no.
But I do think that's probably the most likely thing to happen to you, Matt.
Absolutely cursed.
For some reason, the only person I've ever met that is likely to end up stuck in a Ouija board is you.
I don't know whether that's a compliment or not. I also agree.
I don't either.
Folks, that is a good place to leave it off. I'm gonna press the button on this show. This happens. You folks that just showed up, go do the rewatch. We're done.